Okay, guys, I think I am live now. I think that should work. Someone can give me a thumbs up on WhatsApp or something. Or I'm going to check on. Yeah. Okay. So just let me know if the sound is okay. Perfect. Amazing. Okay, cool. So let's get going then. Okay, so guys, welcome for a Pilates session with OopaUp and Allez Pilates. This is my first live stream, so I hope it's going to be smooth. This is also the first time I'm going to be giving a class without being able to give corrections. So just like post on YouTube if something is not clear, but I try to give very clear demos and also like use as many verbal cues as possible so that everything is really clear. It's going to be about 1 hour session. We're going to start with a 10 minutes warm up, and then we have about 20 exercises to go over the next 50 minutes. Because I don't know if any of you did Pilates before or not, I'm going to start by covering the basic principles, and then we'll go on and move with our exercises. Just to give you a quick overview about Pilates. So basically Pilates is very much like strength training. So it's a lot about developing your muscles endurance, also your muscle strength, but it's not really about developing like muscles volume. So it's more about really like developing the density of your muscles and being able to recruit them both in your eccentric and concentric contractions. So you are able to use your muscle and recruit them throughout their entire range of movement. So that's about Pilates. You probably also know about the history, like where the name comes from. If not, we can have another Q&A another time about that. So the only thing you will need today is either a block or a cushion. A pillow is totally fine, or a block. And this is actually doesn't apply to everybody. It's only if I'll let you know when we are on our back. If you need like to align your cervical spine, you might need like a small pillow or a bigger pillow. And also actually we're gonna need them for our spinal rotation. So everybody like get hold of a pillow more or less this width or more or less this width. So once you have your pillow, I'd like you to lay on your side. So you don't need it right now, so keep it on the side. And I'd like you to lay on your side, and we're gonna start with breathing. So usually breathing is done on the back, lying on your back, but actually for a change, I'd like you to come into a side lying position. So you're gonna lie onto your side, okay, and have your legs folded. And I'd like you to rest your head onto your arm. If this is painful, you can fold your arm like that, or you can actually use the pillow and keep the arm in front of you, okay? And I'd like you also to try to keep your spine neutral. So what I mean about that is like trying not to collapse too much our waist. So imagine you have a little hedgehog just under your waist and you're trying to leave a little bit of space for it to stay under you, okay? So we're gonna start with breathing. You're gonna take a deep inhale through the nose, exhaling through pursed lips. And again, keep breathing in through the nose, and out through pursed lips, and keep going like that, in through the nose and out through pursed lips. So now I'd like you to bring your top arm onto your rib cage, the lower part of your rib cage. For girls, like to give you a landmark, it's more or less where your bra, the bottom of your bra lies. So I'd like you to bring your hands here, and every time you take a deep breath in, I'd like you to try to push this hand up, okay? So breathing in and out through pursed lips. And again, breathing in and trying to push your rib cage up to the sides. The reason why I say that is because most of the time we tend to have a shallow breathing that is kind of a chest breathing, which is not an efficient breathing pattern for exercising. What we want is to send the air onto the lower lobes of our lungs, onto the lower parts of the lungs, and onto the sides and the back of your rib cage. So having this feedback, this physical feedback of your hand, help you to teach yourself to send the air onto the sides and the back of your rib cage. So breathing in, pushing your hand towards the ceiling, and breathing out through pursed lips. In terms of the breathing out, what you want in terms of strength is like as if you're blowing out a candle. So it's not stronger than that. You're not trying to inflate a balloon. You're just trying to blow out a candle. And that helps you to start to engage your deep core abdominals. So every time breathing in through the nose, and when you breathe out through pursed lips, I'd like you to imagine like you have like a belt around your waist and it's coming down one notch tighter. Okay, so that means like when your rib cage closes in and down, you're also tightening those abdominals, bringing them inside and in a tighter position. Okay, so keep going like that. And now I'd like you to take hold of your pillow. So you're going to take your pillow, put it on the side and stay lying sideways, okay? And get your head at the end of the pillow so you have a bit of space behind you. And so now, staying as you are with your neutral spine, a bit of space underneath your waist, I'd like you to bring your arms forward, and we're going to start with our spinal rotation. So for the spinal rotation, we're going to inhale to bring one arm toward the ceiling, exhale to rotate from the torso, eye line onto the back hand. Take a deep breath in there, breathe out, and then again, one more inhale, and then exhale to pull from your abdominals and come back to your starting position. And again, bring your arm toward the ceiling and now rotate from your rib cage like you're trying to rotate the breastbone towards the ceiling. And now you're staying there. Keep pressing those thighs on the floor and breathe in and out and in again. And on the next exhale, return, pulling from those abdominals back. So you're not driving from the arm, you're driving from the torso. The arm is merely following the torso rotation. And you're going to stay there for the last spinal rotation. Take one full round of breath and one more inhale. And on the next exhale, return, pulling from the abdominals. And now you're going to change side. So move onto your other side. And again, lying onto your side. Keep a bit of space behind you with the pillow and check your waist, but also check the hips. Make sure that this hip is not tilting backward, okay? So they're stacked on top of each other. And again, we're gonna breathe in to lift the arm toward the ceiling, breathe out to rotate, look toward the back hand, feel a really nice stretch in your obliques. Take a deep breath in there and out, and one more inhale. And on the next exhale, I'd like you to return back to your starting position. And we're gonna do that 2 more times, making sure every time you rotate that you're at the same time stretching this side of the obliques, but using the opposite side to stabilize your body. And once you took a full round of breath, I'd like you to return. And once you've done your free spinal rotation in this direction, we're going to come onto our back for our imprint and release. So I'd like you to lie onto your back. You don't need a pillow for now, unless, and maybe you need a smaller one. When you come into your back, okay, and you are in like a neutral position, if you feel like your eye line is a bit high, so I'm going to try to demonstrate, because a lot of us with our office jobs, we tend to have a head forward. And what it means when you have a head forward is that when you come onto your back, then in order to get the head onto the mat, you end up with an overextended neck, okay? And that is not great for your neck, like basically safety. So what you can do to align the neck is bring a little pillow under, and then keep going to Pilates, and little by little, you'll improve your posture and you'll correct this head forward. But in the meantime, have the pillow under your head. And now we are lying in our on supine, so on our back, okay? And you can have your arm longs by the side, and you can either have the palms facing down or up. This is totally up to you. When they are facing the up, it helps the shoulders to open, okay? So we're gonna start with our pelvic tilts. So you start in your neutral position. When you are not lying in neutral, I'm gonna raise my arms so that you can see. You should have a bit of space underneath your lower back. So if you wiggle your fingers underneath your back, you should be able to wiggle those fingers under. And if you take the heels of the hand onto the hip bones and the fingertips onto the pubic bone and form a triangle, you should feel that this triangle is more or less parallel to the floor, okay? If you feel that the hip bone is much higher like that, that means you're more like into an imprinted position. If the pubic bone is much lower like that, then you're kind of overarching your back, as you can see here. So we're gonna try to adopt a neutral position, okay? And starting from there, I'd like you to start your pelvis rock. So you're gonna rock your pelvis, bringing the pubic bone towards the nose, and then rock your pelvis away from you. So you're overarching the lower back and then lengthening the lower back and bringing it towards the mat. And again, keep going. Inhale to come into a pelvis tilt. Exhale to come into your imprint. And again, inhale, exhale to imprint. And keep going. Let's do a few of those. But I'd like you, every time you come into an imprint, instead of pushing with your heels and using the glutes to come into this imprinted position, I'd like you to recruit only your obliques. So come back into your neutral position. And now we're going to do a pelvis tilt, but instead of pushing from the heels, we're going to use the obliques as if we're trying to bring the hip bones closer to your lower ribs, okay? So it's like you're trying to close this space. And you're going to feel now that you're not pushing at all with the heels, but you're actually using the obliques to come into this imprinted position. And again, release to neutral and back into an imprinted position. So now that we've done a few pelvic tilts, we're going to challenge both positions. We're going to start by challenging the imprint. So I'd like you to find your imprint, bring your lower back close to the mat, like you're lengthening the lower back. And now I'd like you to bring one leg to tabletop and then the other leg to tabletop, maintaining the imprint, okay? And now you can bring your arms by your side, maybe palms first facing down so that you have a better base of support. And we're going to start rotating one side, both legs together, keep them glued together, rotate your hip towards one side, keeping your shoulders onto the mat. Your right hip is going to lift as you rotate to the left side, and then exhale to return to the center. And now inhale to rotate to your right side, leave the left hip, lift, and return to center. And again, 2 more on each side. Make sure you're maintaining the imprint. You're not overarching the back as you're tilting. Try to go as far as you can, as long as both shoulders can stay on the mat, okay? And rotate to the other side. Exhale to return. And then 1 more on each side. Very good. Keeping rotating. And once you're done, I'd like you to come back to the neutral position and return 1 leg at a time to the mat. And now we're going to move on to our hip rolls. So it's a nice sequential move of the spine to encourage lubrication of our spine, okay? So bring your feet a little closer to your sitting bones. And I'd like you to inhale to prepare. Exhale, starting by coming into your imprint, and then peel your spine off the mat, pushing with your glutes, with the hamstrings, all the way up to a shoulder bridge. Inhale there. Exhale to return with control, 1 vertebrae at a time, going through the imprint and back to neutral. And again, roll your lower back onto the mat and then lift the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. When you are in your shoulder bridge, feel like you're driving your knees away from you, trying to form a long line. Keep the breastbone heavy and return your spine. Let's do 1 last one. Rolling 1 vertebrae off at a time, all the way up, up, up sequentially, and then rolling back all the way. Very good. Now that you return to your neutral spine, we're going to do a few arm raises and few arm circles to mobilize the stabilizers of our shoulder blades. So I'd like you to bring your arms towards the ceiling, palms facing each other, but keep the shoulders down onto the mat. And we're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale to bring the arms overhead down towards the floor. Inhale to return. And again, exhale, bring them overhead. and inhale to return. When you bring them overhead, keep going. Make sure your rib cage is not flaring up, is not popping up. So try to keep the rib cage to abdominals connection as you lift your arms overhead. You're going to feel like when they come down, down, down toward the floor, that your rib cage is going to want to come up. Again, that's the obliques, your largest muscles in your abdominal area, that are going to keep them down because they attach to the rib cage on the top part. So use that, keep the rib cage down, and then lift your arms back toward the ceiling. So once you've done a few, we're going to move on to our arm circles. So to mobilize the full range of movement of our shoulder. So we're going to exhale to bring the arms overhead. Inhale to circle the arms back and toward the ceiling. And again, bring your arms overhead and circle them all the way back to the starting position. And last one. And bring them back toward the ceiling. And now keep them toward the ceiling. We're just going to do a couple of protractions and retractions. So staying here, just as you are, imagine that someone is holding you from the wrist and is going to pull your arms towards the ceiling and back again towards the floor, as if your shoulder blades are coming together. And you're going to protract on an inhale and then exhale to bring your shoulder blades toward each other. And last one, bring your arms, try to keep them at the same distance. Don't let them like collapse into A shape, keep them parallel. And last one, and relax. Very good, very well done. And now we're going to do our very last warm-up. It's a very simple, subtle exercise, very subtle movement, but it's an extremely important exercise and movement if you want to make sure you never hurt your neck when you're exercising. So we call that the head nod, or cervical craniovertebral flexion, or different name like that. But basically, it's just a head nod. So lying on your back, I'd like you to inhale to take a head nod as if you're lengthening the back of your neck, and exhale to return. So imagine you're looking at a traffic light and it's on the green light. You're going to inhale to look towards the red light and then exhale to return. So it's a very small movement. We're going to inhale to look down and exhale to return. Really good. So that's our head nod. We try to do it before any flexion of the spine, okay? So now we're going to start with our first exercise that has a flexion of the spine. So we'll incorporate the head nod into this exercise. So arms long by your side. Make sure your spine is in neutral. Wiggle a few fingers under your under your lower back, okay? But your rib cage is down onto the mat. And now we're going to inhale to head nod. Exhale to flex up, looking towards the knee. Inhale there. Exhale to return. And keep going. Inhale. Exhale, looking up, keeping a little apple between the chin and the chest, and return. And again, head nod, flexing up. Don't let the abdominal bulge out, and return. When you come up, make sure you don't come into an imprint, okay? You're hovering the arms, and returning, head returns last. And last one, flexing up and return. And now we're going to do a little progression. You're going to interlace your fingers and bring them behind your head. Lift your elbows a little bit so that you can see them on the peripheral vision, making sure you're still in the neutral. We're going to inhale to head nod. Exhale, flexing up, looking towards the knees. Inhale there. Exhale to return. Last three. Head nod, flexing up. The belly is flat. You're scooping the belly in, and you return. And last two. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our 100. So from here, we're going to find our imprint. So just as we said before, we're going to use the obliques to melt the lower back onto the mat. And now I'd like you to bring one leg to tabletop and then the second leg to tabletop. We're going to do the 100 if you guys know it already. So for the 100, we're going to be flexing up just like for the ab prep. with the arms floating, but on top of it, we're going to be pulsing the arms, okay? So I'll be counting, all right? And for people who can, I'd like you on the exhale to bring your legs to diagonal, and you can return it on the inhale. If you can keep your legs onto diagonal throughout the exercise. So let's do that together. We are in a nice imprinted position, legs in tabletop. Make sure your knees are on top of your hips, okay? Don't let your legs come too high, all right? And we're gonna inhale to prepare, exhale to flex up, float the arms, and look towards your knee. And we're gonna start. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, keep going, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you're pulsing your arms, feeling like you're pulsing them underneath water. So you should feel resistance, and you're driving the pulse from your shoulder. So keeping your arms straight, trying to reach them long, long, long. If you can, keep your legs into a diagonal and keep. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now everyone stay up, but bring your legs back to tabletop, come a little higher, and relax the head back onto the mat, and then one leg at a time back to the mat. Okay, now I'd like you to come into a sitting position, and we're gonna do our half roll back. So for the half roll back, I'd like you to have your legs in front of you, but try to increase the angle. Don't bring them too close, otherwise it can grip your hip flexors. So keep your legs folded in front of you, about hip width distance apart, okay? And we're gonna round the back. So I'd like you to really scoop the belly in, bring like this nice flexion starting from the lower back all the way to the cervical spine, and you're looking towards your thighs or your knees, okay? You're gonna bring your arm longs, palms facing down at shoulders height. We're gonna inhale to prepare, exhale to roll back, keeping the exact same shape of the back, so you end up looking forward. Inhale to return. And again, exhale, rolling back. Keep the same curve. Don't straighten the back as you roll down. And inhale to return. Really good. Keep going. Rolling back, back, back. Shoulders are down, away from the ears. You're looking forward. And then you inhale. You're looking towards your knees when you return to the starting position. And rolling back and up. Really make sure you're scooping the belly in throughout the exercise. You're not shrugging your shoulders. You're not bringing them up. Try to keep your hands at shoulders height throughout the exercise. And on the last one, I'd like you guys to roll all the way back to your back for the roll up, okay? So now we are lying onto our back. I'd like you to extend your legs. So you're gonna have your legs straight. Just gonna shimmy a little bit so you can see most of my body. So you're gonna have your legs straight, guys. And I'd like you to flex your ankles so that the toes are pointing toward the ceiling. We have a neutral back, so you should be able to feel like a bit of space. And now I'd like you to bring your arms straight overhead, okay? But as we established before, only as high as you can keep the rib-ab connection, all right? So don't go all the way here. This is a great ab stretch, but you lost the ab connection to the rib cage. So only go as far as your flexibility allows and as you can maintain the rib cage connection. Now we're gonna do a full roll up, okay? So listen to me. We're gonna inhale to bring the arms towards the ceiling. Exhale to flex up, rolling one vertebra at a time off the mat, keeping the legs glued onto the mat. And we end up in this nice C curve, looking towards the knees, palms are facing down. And now we're gonna inhale to roll back, maintaining the curve of the back, returning the spine one vertebrae at a time with control. Don't lose momentum, and returning to our starting position. Let's do 5 more. Inhale to ceiling. Exhale to peel the back off the mat. Keep the belly in. Look towards your knees and return. Make sure you don't collapse when you come to the seated position. So you maintain your pelvis in a vertical position. So what I mean is like you're flexed, but you're not hinging at the hip, okay? So you keep your hips vertical and you're just flexing from the back, reaching long, 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 and returning with control. The gaze comes up as soon as you start rolling down, and then you finish with your eye line to the ceiling. I hope you guys kept counting because I lost count, but I think we have 2 more to do. And here, and returning with control, 1 vertebra at a time. I really want to make sure, guys, when you come up, if you can't come all the way up, it's okay to stop here. But what I don't want to see is that, because this is solely using momentum. We're not working the rectus abdominis. We're not working our 6 packs when we launch the arms forward to come up. And this is, you are at risk of injuring your lower back. So make sure you're really controlling the movement throughout. Next time you're down, I'd like you to stay down. You're going to keep one leg straight. Okay. Maintain your, actually, I'm going to do this leg so you can see better. Maintain your neutral back. And now I'd like you guys, you're going to have your hands by your side. And now we're going to bring one leg up. So start by folding it, but make sure your back, your lower back stays off the mat. And now you're going to, if you can, if your flexibility allows it, extend your leg straight. It's okay if it's not toward the ceiling, but you want it straight. So in my case, it's really, really hard. I have extremely tight hamstring. So I tend to do this exercise with the leg flexed. It's totally fine. So we're going to do our 1 leg circles. So for the 1 leg circle, we're going to rotate this leg, initiating from the femur, trying to draw circles either with the knee or with the top toe. And we're going to inhale to draw half a circle, exhale to circle back to starting position. And keep going, inhale, exhale. Feel your femur heavy onto the hip socket and try as much as you can to not let your hips tilt one side to the other. And so half a circle and return. Once you've done 4 in one direction, I'd like you guys to change direction. So we're going to inhale for half a circle, exhale to complete the circle, and keep going. And once you've done your 4 in each direction, I'd like you to return this leg, extend it long, and then fold the other one. By the way, if you don't have the flexibility at all, it's okay to keep one leg folded. That works as well. And then we're going to draw our 4 circles in one direction with this leg. Again, the essence of this exercise is to build stability by recruiting the obliques and the multifidi. So if you let your hips rotate, like tilt side to side in order to have a very big circle, you're losing part of the essence of this exercise. So in that case, I'd like you guys to reduce the range of movement of your circle and try to maintain these 2 points as level as possible. All right. So once we've done our 4 circles in each direction, you can return your foot onto the mat and both legs straight. Okay. So give yourself a quick stretch. So now you can let your rib cage pop up. Have your arms long, feet long, pointing. Take one deep round of breath. And once you're done, I'd like you to come up to a seating position. We're going to do our rolling like a ball. This is a really cool Pilates exercise. So for that, we're going to start with the prep. See how you feel with the prep. And if you want to, we can do the full one. Okay? So I'm just going to close my balcony because it's really cold. Perfect. Okay. So guys, for this one, we're going to, again, come back in this C-curve position. Okay. So we would like to roll off the sit bone and increase the curve by really scooping the belly in. Now I'd like you to hold onto the back of your thigh, and we're going to look towards our knees, and we're just going to do a couple of preps first, and then we'll do the full one. Make sure just now that you don't have anything behind you and that you walk yourself towards the front of your mat, because we're going to be rolling backward, okay? So you're going to hold behind your thigh, okay? And now I'd like you to bring one leg to a balancing position and then the second leg off, okay? And now try to close a little bit as if you're trying to really form a ball. So imagine you're inside one of those big Swiss balls, you know, the gymnastic balls that sometimes people sit on in offices. So you imagine you are inside one of those and you can't really extend at all. So you're going to look towards your knees. And now we're just going to start with the prep by inhale to roll slightly off your sit bone backward. Exhale to come up. Inhale to roll just a little bit backward and come up. Make sure you're keeping your balance. Inhale backward. Exhale to come up. So the reason why we do the prep is because I really want you to feel that you're initiating the movement from the lumbar, from the lower back. Okay? So now that we established that, we're going to go on for the full one. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can bring your legs slightly apart, bring your hands on the knees, and try to press your knees together by pressing the hands outward and press outward with the knees, okay? And so we're going to inhale to roll backward, exhale to come back up. Inhale back, exhale up. Stay small, don't use your legs for momentum. Make sure you're balancing for half a second when you return to the starting position and return. And keep going, inhale back, exhale up. Make sure you don't unfold the legs when you come up like that, because that would be cheating, that would be using momentum. What we want is to use only our six packs, only our rectus abdominis to do this movement. So you have to scoop in, you have to really recruit them at the right moment to balance when you finish and return. And let's do two more. Back and return. And last one. And return. And balance for a moment. And then return one leg to the mat and then the other one. Well done, guys. So now we're going to return onto our back for our single leg stretch and obliques. Okay, so we're going to start with the obliques, okay? So I'd like you guys to find your imprint position, bring your lower back closer to the mat, maintain and stabilize your spine, and now bring one leg to tabletop and then the other leg to tabletop. Bring your hands on the outside of the knees. And now I'd like you to inhale to head nod, exhale to flex up, look towards the knee. And now we're going to start reaching one leg away on the exhale. Inhale to swap, reach the other leg. Inhale to swap and reach, and reach, and reach. So it's relatively fast. What I want you guys to do is to make sure when you fold the leg to not go beyond your hip joint. So don't do that, okay? It's not about like folding the leg. Try to not go further than your hip joint and try to keep your shoulder blades off the mat. So come up, up, up and swap, swap, fully extend the leg. And keep going. And one more on each side and return. Keep your head off the mat. We're going to carry on with the next exercise. I'd like you to interlace your fingers and bring your hands behind your head, okay? We're staying flexed up. We're staying in this imprinted position. We're going to move on to our obliques. Same leg movement, but now we're also going to rotate the torso. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to rotate. Inhale to return. Exhale to rotate to the other side, the side of the reaching leg. And keep going. Make sure that the returning leg is staying, is not coming further than your hips. Also, make sure that you're not getting into some sort of like knee to elbow exercise. And so what we can do is the top arm can actually open to the opposite side than the one you're rotating. So you're going to extend the top arm towards the folded leg and keep going. You should start feeling a burn. Exhale. Exhale. Inhale, return to the center. And one more on each side. Make sure you are even. Stay there.
stay flexed up, okay? Do not come down. And now I'd like you to extend both legs towards the ceiling for our scissors, making sure our shoulder blades are still off the mat, okay? But we're not rounding the shoulders, we're keeping them open. And now we're gonna inhale to prepare, exhale in 2 pulse, reach one leg towards the floor and swap. Reach, reach and swap. Reach, reach and swap. Try to hold the top leg just with your fingertips. So it's not about pulling the top leg towards you, it's about reaching the other leg away from you. So imagine like every time someone is pulling your ankle away from you. So really reaching long, 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 and keep going. And swap, and swap, and swap, and swap, and return both legs towards the ceiling. Well done, guys. Fold your leg, return the head onto the mat, return your legs one at a time onto the mat. Very well done. So we're pretty much done with our abs exercise. So now I'd like you to bring your feet a little closer to your sitting bone. Not too close. Make sure that basically your knees are not forward your ankle. Like don't do that, basically. Try to have them like at most more or less here. Okay? We're gonna start with our shoulder bridge. We're gonna do shoulder bridge prep and then the full shoulder bridge. All right, guys. So we're gonna inhale. Oh yeah, by the way, the shoulder bridge is a hip lift. So we're not gonna roll, we're gonna lift, okay? So I'd like you to inhale to prepare, exhale to lift your hips off the mat, inhale there, exhale to return, and keep going. Exhale to lift. Imagine that your hips are into one big ice cube, and when you're lifting the hips, they're lifting all together in a stable way. And let's do 2 more. Exhale to lift, inhale there, exhale to return. And again, inhale, prepare, exhale, lift, use the glutes to open the hip flexors area and return. And last one, and return. Okay, so we're done with our prep. Now we're gonna do the full shoulder bridge. So I'd like you guys to take a deep breath in to prepare. Exhale to lift, inhale to bring one leg toward the ceiling, and now exhale, lower the leg, inhale, lift, exhale, lower, inhale, lift, exhale, lower, inhale, lift, fold the leg, return it to the mat, lift your other leg, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, fold, return to the mat. Return your hip back down onto the mat in one block. Take a breath in, prepare, and exhale to lift. And now we're gonna unfold the leg and now lower on the exhale, inhale to lift, lower, lift. One last time, lift, fold, return. And other foot, same thing 3 times. We're gonna lower it. Try to keep your hips level as you go, using your glutes to maintain the position. And once you've done 3 times, return the leg, inhale there, exhale to return. Really good, guys. So now we're gonna move onto our belly for our breaststroke prep, okay? So I'd like you guys to come onto the prone position, facing down, okay? And we're gonna start with the breaststroke prep, and then we will do the full breaststroke. All right, so lying onto your back, okay? I'd like you to have the legs long together. Try to press them a little bit together so that activates your inner thigh muscles, your adductor muscles, okay? So press your legs a little bit together and also press them against the mat. The other thing is when we are on our belly, what we want is to have a neutral spine, but it's not as easy to know because you don't have the feedback from your back against the mat. So one way to feel that is that you're pressing your belly, your pubic bone onto the mat, and at the same time, you're trying to keep your belly button light. So imagine like you have an ice cube under the belly button and you're trying to avoid the feeling, this cold feeling. So you're lifting the belly button up, okay? That will help you to avoid this kind of like overextension that could hurt your lower back. So make sure you are in this neutral spine. You're using already engaging a little bit the glutes. And now we're going to start with the breaststroke prep. So nose on the mat, forehead and chin off the mat, forearms on each sides of your shoulders. I'd like you to inhale to prepare and draw your shoulder blades down. Exhale to extend your upper back. Look forward at a 45-degree angle. Inhale there. Exhale to return. And again, draw your shoulder blades down. Exhale, come up. Look forward. And return on the next exhale. When you're coming up, keep going on the exhale. Make sure you're not overextending your neck like that. So you want to imagine like you're just initiating the movement with the head, but really it's the upper back that is flexing. And return. Also, try not to push at all with your forearms. So you could actually have them off the floor, and you would be doing the exact same movement because you're driving from the mid-back, okay? And return. And last two. Very well done. I'd like you guys to come quickly into a shell stretch before we do our full breaststroke. Okay, sorry. So quick shell stretch. The shell stretch, by the way, is not just a relaxed, that, okay? It's an exercise, right? So I'd like you really to round your back, okay? Round your back, don't collapse onto the side, and use the breath. Every time you breathe in, it's like you're growing away from your thighs, feeling the sides and the back of your rib cage. When you breathe out, scoop the belly in and increase the stretch into the lower back. Really good. Once you've done a full couple round of breath, I'd like you guys to return onto the belly, return facing down. We're going to do now the full breaststroke, okay? So for the full breaststroke, we have the same starting position, but now we're going to be moving throughout without a break. So I'm just going to show you quickly the exercise if you want to have a look. We are starting here, and we're going to inhale to prepare, exhale to hover up, extend the arms, inhale to circle the arms, look forward, and we keep going. We don't return, we don't have a break, okay? So let's start in our position. We have just the nose in contact with the mat, all right? So we're not already overextending or flexing forward, okay? I'd like you to inhale to prepare, push the pubic bone towards the mat, and now you're gonna exhale, extend, hover up, inhale, look forward. Sorry, yes, exhale, inhale, exhale, long line, inhale, look forward, extend, and keep going. We're gonna do 10 in total. So we have 6 more to go. Long line. When you do your long line, stay hovering up a couple of inches off the mat, but you're looking down, okay? So you're looking down off the mat, and then you extend and circle the arms and keep going. And once you've done your last one, I'd like you to return to the starting position, push from your hands, come into a shell stretch. And again, give me an active shell stretch. You can have your arms forward or backward. This is up to you, but make sure you're using the breath to reap the full benefit of the shell stretch, which is to decompress the lumbar spine, to decompress the lower back. All right, guys, so once you're done, we're gonna move onto our side for our side leg lift series. Checking with the time, people are doing well, okay? Yes, okay, cool. All right, guys, so for the side leg lift series, you're gonna have your arm, you're gonna rest your head onto your arm and have the palm facing down so it helps you as a base of support. You're gonna have your legs, I'm gonna shimmy forward so you can see my feet. Okay, so you're gonna have your legs long, all right, pointing. We're gonna do the 3, 4, and 5 of the STOT repertoire. Again, we talked about it earlier. We're trying not to collapse the waist, so make sure you're not collapsing. The other thing is you wanna check quickly at your hip and making sure they're stacked on top of each other. We have a tendency to roll backward, or for some people forward.
And it's not really like easy to just feel if you are in neutral. So it's nice to have a quick visual check of your hip situation. All right, so we're gonna start with the number 3, where we're gonna inhale to lift one leg and lift it, like don't just, don't stop at the hip, like lift it as high as you can, maintain a neutral back, and then exhale to bring the other one and return them both. So it's a long exhale. Inhale, one leg up, exhale, join the leg and return both. And keep going. Inhale, up, exhale, and return. So we're going to do 3 more of those. I'd like you to pay attention to your waist when you lift the second leg. Is it coming in contact with the floor? If so, can you use your obliques a little more to maintain it off the floor? Yes, it's harder, but now you're getting much more benefit from the exercise. Once you've done 6, I'd like you to return both legs to the floor. And now we're going to do both legs lift, but on the exhale. So inhale to prepare, exhale to lift, and inhale to return. Exhale to lift, same thing with the waist, and return. If you can manage in terms of balance, you can bring the top arm here and return. And once you've done 6, balance, I'd like you to rest both legs back onto the mat. And we're going to do the 5th one, where we're going to be lifting both the legs and the torso and come into a nice banana shape, a nice like kind of a rocking chair base to a lateral flexion. So we're going to inhale to prepare, exhale to lift, inhale to return. And again, lift and return. We have 4 more to do. Lift, 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 work it here and return. Try to reach in a long line if you can and return. So we exhaling up, inhaling to return. And once you've done your 6 in one side, we're gonna change side. So I'd like you guys to come to the other side, and we're gonna be doing the exact same thing. So have a quick posture check first. Okay, even though it's a very glamorous side position, we want to make sure actually it's an active side line. So we want to keep the waist, okay? You want to keep the waist active underneath as well, all right? And you can use this arm as a base of support. In that case, try to not be in your fingertips, but actually have the hand flat. Toes pointing, and we're gonna inhale, exhale to join and return both. And again, once we've done 6, we're gonna do the double leg raise. Oh, sorry, it's exhale up and inhale down. And exhale up and inhale down. And once you've done your 6, we're gonna do our lateral raise, okay? So where we're raising also the torso. Inhale to prepare, exhale to lift, inhale, return. Exhale to lift, hold if you can, and return. Exhale to lift, 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 and return. Try to come as high as you can. Challenge yourself, making sure you're working. And return. And once you've done your 6 on both sides, I'd like you guys to roll back onto your belly, and we're gonna do our single leg extension. So for this one, I'd like you to stack your fingers on top of each other, and you're gonna rest your forehead on them. And we're gonna be lying with the same, trying to achieve the same neutral spine that we talked about earlier. But now the difference with our legs is that instead of being together, we're actually going to keep them apart, about hip width distance apart, and we're going to laterally rotate them. So what I mean by that is that our toes are pointing outward and our heels are facing each other. Make sure they're still on the mat, otherwise they're a little too wide, okay? And we're gonna do our single leg extension. I'm looking toward the screen, but you can actually look down towards the mat, okay? So for this one, it could sound like a very simple exercise if we do it wrongly. So please listen to me carefully. I'd like you to inhale to lengthen your right leg, exhale to lift it from the femur, inhale to return, exhale to lengthen and lift your left leg, inhale to return. So we exhale to lengthen and then lift, and then we return on the inhale. So what I mean about lengthening is that you are really engaging the glute and try to lengthen the leg as much as possible. So usually you'll have actually the knee lifting a little bit as you lengthen, and then you try to raise your leg as one piece, like one stick, one straight stick. So you don't actually lift from the knee like that, or to, I mean, this is a caricatural, but most of the time we see people doing that. That's not hard. Okay, so we want to lengthen and then lift. And now you should feel your glutes working really hard. And return and lengthen. And last one, once you are even on both sides, I'd like you to look down, same starting position, but now we're gonna raise both together. So inhale to prepare, exhale to lengthen and lift both, and return. And again, lengthen, lift, and return. You should feel your glutes working really hard. Let's do 4 more. And return. Don't let it go into your lower back. Keep the belly button light, light, light. You would feel that suddenly you don't feel it on the lower back. So once you're done with your 6, you can come back into a shell stretch. And then we're going to do our penultimate exercise. It's our leg pull front. So I'd like you guys to come into a plank position. If you can't maintain a nice plank position, okay, then instead you can stay on your knees. And if you are on your knees, try to have your knees a little away from the hips. And for those people, I'd like you guys to, if you can, keep your feet together, okay, close together, tuck your toes under, and you're just gonna lift the knees and return, and lift the knees and return. Or if you can, come into a full plank and return. Come into a full plank and return. Try to maintain your hip at the same height, so don't do that. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but try to really just drive the movement almost from your heels, okay? And return. For the ones who are in a plank position already, well done for maintaining it already for 30 seconds. And now we're gonna lift one leg, drive backward, and then point both feet and return. Sorry for the, I told you wrong for the feet pointing. We're gonna point backward, flex, and return. Okay, so let's keep going. We're gonna lift one leg, point the foot, drive backward, return the foot. And other leg. So exhale to lift and drive backward. Inhale to return and lower the leg. And then keep changing leg. And one more on each side. And once you're done with one more on each side, I'd like you to return your legs to the mat. And we're gonna do our last exercise. It's the side bend. So you're gonna come sitting onto your side, and you're gonna fold one leg, okay? You're gonna fold one leg and have the knee down onto the mat. And you're gonna bring your hand more or less at the height of this supporting knee, all right? For the top leg, I'd like you to hook your foot in front of your supporting leg ankle, okay? and you're going to bring the top hand on top of your top knee. Make sure when you are in this position, you're not already collapsing onto your waist. We're trying again to be active even in our starting positions in Pilates. And I'd like you to inhale to prepare. No, actually, sorry. Exhale to prepare. And now we're going to inhale to bring the hips forward. Keep your supporting knee onto the floor and come into a lateral flexion. And now return on the exhale. And let's keep going. Inhale forward and flex. Exhale to return. Inhale forward, use the glutes to come forward, and then use the obliques to come to the lateral flexion and return. Forward, flex, and return. Once you've done 6 on one side, I'd like you guys to come to the other side, and you're going to do the same thing. So have your supporting leg folded, knee onto the mat, hand is forward more or less at the knee level, okay? And we're making sure our waist is not collapsing, all right? Keep your collarbone wide and open. Rest the top hand onto the top knee. Inhale to come forward and flex. Exhale to return everything to the starting position. And again, forward. Inhale forward and flexing. Exhale to return. So it's a long inhale and exhale. Inhale. Keep your palm facing down when you are in this flexion. So you're drawing this nice rainbow as you come up and flexing and return. And once you've done your 6 on each side, I'd like you guys to roll onto your knee, tuck your toes under, and I'd like you to walk your hands towards your feet, come down, hold onto your elbows, relax your head, make a yes with your head, make a no, tilt it side to side, and now relax your hands, and now we're gonna roll up one vertebrae at a time. As you exhale, I'm gonna tilt the screen a little bit so you can see me standing. Yes. So you come all the way up. And now I'd like you guys, now that you're up, to come onto the balls of the feet. So you're balancing, okay? And I'd like you to bring one arm toward the ceiling, and then the other hand toward the ceiling. Keep balancing, and now drop both of them. Woo, maintain your balance. And return your heels to the mat. Very well done, guys. Well done for today's practice. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next Monday. Thank you very much. Bye.